After the sad passing of yet another Talamati breakaway lioness, there were a lot of concerns if the Salati daughter could overcome the loss of her sister. As the only adult in the pride, she carries a lot of responsibility for 5 young sub-adults that will turn 2 by the end of this year. Their home are the northern reaches of Sabi Sand into Mhangeni. There were also big question marks concerning their father, who's been called the S8 male by some and the Imbali male by others. Despite getting a lot of pressure from the Blackdam males, he did not disappoint. He was often seen being alone on patrol and marking his territory, and he didn't shy away from announcing his presence. But he was also seen on buffalo kills with his family, where he most likely participated in bringing down a buffalo. Some concerns arose when 2 of the sub-adults were seen in July roaming alone for a couple of days, but they soon after joined up with the family. Overall, they are in pretty good shape, and on one occasion they even shared a kill with one of the Inkuma males. The Salati daughter is smart. She keeps a low profile and provides regular meals for the growing appetite of the sub-adults. However, in mid-August they had a close call when they stumbled upon the Blackdam males who were feeding on a hippo carcass. One of the Talamati breakaway sub-adults came too close for comfort and the chase was on. The Imbali male, on the other hand, thought it must have been a good idea to make a point, and he returned to the carcass. As soon as he realized that both Blackdam males had come back as well, he wisely retreated. Out of the danger zone, he continued scent marking and vocalizing. I must say I have a lot of respect for this lion, who doesn't get intimidated by 2 younger opponents who are determined to fight for a territory they already see as theirs. The Imbali male is a fighter. Recent photos show him with new battle scars he got from a fight with a red road male. I gotta say, so far he has done exceptionally well in defending his pride and his territory. And if he can hold on just a little longer, his offspring might have a chance to grow up to adulthood. The old Talamati lioness is the oldest lioness in the entire reserve and is about 17 years old. She and her sister took care of the Avoca sub-adults when their father, Darkmane Avoca, got under pressure from the Imbali male. In July, she left a group of the 4 young lionesses who are now sexually mature. We can only speculate what led to her decision to leave, but being alone, she was forced to scavenge from other predators. Her condition deteriorated quickly until she met some members of the Imbali pride. She was seen at least on 2 kills with them in August. Despite having access to regular meals, she has to fight for her share, and that's been shown in new scratches on her body which take longer for her to heal. Last week she was seen feeding on a buffalo kill with 10 members of the Inkuma pride. It's never easy to watch a beloved lioness on her way out, so let's hope Mother Nature is being kind to her until she finds her final resting place. In the meantime, the young Talamati lionesses cover a lot of distance to find the right mates. They started mating with the Plainscamp males in April and soon moved on to the Blackdam males in May, followed by the Nzenga and the Skoro breakaway male. And if that wasn't enough, they were also seen with the Gijima males and just recently in company of the Nkuhuma male. Right now they are back with the Ximunghwe, but being nomadic, this doesn't make it easier for them. They remind me a little bit of the Nkuhuma lionesses, who mated with 5 coalitions until they settled down with the Birmingham males. I have a feeling their journey is not over yet, and if they were to have cubs, it's going to be difficult to raise them under the given circumstances. Right now, so it seems, they established their territory in the southwest around Inkuma and Sabi Sand. In the meantime, their brothers moved west and spent almost the entire month of July in the territory of the Plainscamp males. They proved to be successful buffalo hunters and were found enjoying numerous kills in the west. That was until the Plainscamp males found them and chased them back east. Upon their arrival, they chased a young subadult Inkuma male who was really lucky to get away unharmed. Back in familiar territory, they killed another buffalo in Elephant Plains on August 10. A week later, they got chased by the Blackdam males, which caused a separation of the brothers. A couple of days later, they had found each other and reunited in Londolozi. At the beginning of September, they were back in Imbali and showing off new battle scars. These 2 young males have still a long journey ahead of them until they are old enough and strong enough to challenge other males for a territory. Wherever that may be, we wish them luck on their journey. Their cousins from the Nkuhuma pride are in company of their father Mohawk, gaining confidence and strength. Since July, they had spent a lot of time together away from the pride. And even when they join up with their natal pride from time to time, it's becoming more and more evident that Mohawk wants to form a new coalition with his sons. On their journey, Mohawk formed a strong bond with his sons, and they turned into formidable hunters. To everyone's surprise, at the beginning of July, he was heard roaring with his sons for the very first time. Since his brother died, Mohawk hadn't been vocal for almost a year, and now he is back to become a territorial male again. The next weeks will show how the Blackdam males will react to the upcoming power in their neighborhood. The rest of the Nkuhuma pride has formed various splinter groups because of the aforementioned Blackdam males. So far, the lionesses did an excellent job by flying under the radar. However, out of the 7 cubs that were around at the beginning of this year, only 4 are still alive, a male and 3 females. Despite being split up most of the time, they always come together, feeding on large kills. The area they roam is large. It covers the entire north of Sabi Sand, reaching into Mhangeni. The oldest lioness Chela seems to go separate ways and was seen lately more often with the 2 Blackdam males with whom she started mating with back in April. So far, the Blackdam males are territorial over a large portion of Northern Sabi Sand. They set up camp in the former Avoca territory late 2022. But since then, they haven't gained substantial ground in taking over a pride. Brief encounters with the Tumbela lioness K6 and the young Talamati lionesses led nowhere. Chela was the only one who had spent some quality time with them. Mid-August, rangers suspected that she was heavily pregnant. And lo and behold, on September 5, she was seen on Imbali with a full milk pouch and suckle marks. I think it's safe to say that the fathers are the Blackdam males. I can't help but wonder, will she split entirely from the pride like Rich knows, or will she form a new pride with the 2 young lionesses she had spent so much time with over the last 2 years? And there's still a slim possibility that she also mated with Mohawk and returns to her pride. If that's not the case, she's going to be a single mum like Richnose, only protected by the 2 Blackdam males. All the while, her older sister Richnose, who broke away from the pride in 2021, is taking care of her family and raising the cubs that had been sired by the Plainscamp males. The male and the female cub will turn 2 in December, and despite being a single mum, she's doing a fantastic job in keeping them safe. She has set up camp west from her natal pride in the northern parts of Singita, reaching into Zimbabwe. Their fathers occupy the entire western sector and are the undisputed kings. However, they have been busy covering their large territory and taking care of 2 other prides they had sired cubs with. The Mangani pride is the largest pride in the western sector, and since the Plainscamp males took over, the Mangani pride has grown substantially. Just 2 weeks ago, one of the older lionesses introduced the newest member of the pride. Being the youngest and a single cub is not going to be easy for the little one, so he needs to toughen up soon when his 9 older cousins make him their new play toy. The mother of the little one is 15 years old, but she and her sister are still in good nick. And as long as they have a strong pride to rely on, they're gonna be fine and may have a couple of good years ahead of them. The 3rd pride under the control of the Plainscamp males is the Ximunghwe pride. These 2 unrelated lionesses formed a strong bond but had rough times in raising their young. They were trapped in an area where 3 coalitions fought for dominance. The last cubs that were born were all killed in the effort to gain control over the pride. The first male who mated with the older Ximunghwe lioness was the Tumbela male back in 2021. Despite being ousted in 2022, he stubbornly refuses to leave. Before the Plainscamp males entered the game, he tried to fight off the 2 Birmingham males. But since Nina died, the Nkuhuma male is a loner too and looking for a new partner, and for a short time it looked like the 2 males would team up. They both hadn't give up on the Ximunghwe lionesses, but whatever they had agreed upon, it didn't last long. Tolerating a rival male out of necessity is one thing, but building a bond is a totally different story, and even in lion world, that requires some level of trust and acceptance. The Nkuhuma male moved on, and the Tumbela male had the Ximunghwes once more all to himself. That is of course when the Plainscamp males are not around. By the end of August, the younger Ximunghwe lioness named Gingerella gave birth. And last week it had been confirmed that she has 2 cubs. Her den had been discovered in a dry riverbed, and while she suckled her cubs, the older Ximunghwe lioness stood guard. When the cubs were born, the Plainscamp males were not around, but the Tumbela male was. We don't know if he has seen the cubs, but he is definitely aware of them. And last week, the Plainscamp males came finally to visit the den site. The big question mark was though, would they accept the cubs as theirs? And they did. Both males were seen at the den site guarding the cubs. This gives the Ximunghwe lionesses finally a solid chance of raising their young. There are high hopes that the older lioness is pregnant as well, and if she is, her cubs will be born in a safe environment. Last month marked the sad 1-year anniversary since the 2 matriarchs from the Othawa pride had passed. It's also been almost a year since the last 2 survivors of the pride, who were only 1.5 years at the time, lost their mother due to an injury she suffered in a fight with the Ximunghwes. I'm stunned and truly amazed to see that 18-month-old cubs proved every textbook wrong and survived. Especially in the beginning of this year, they spent a lot of time with their father, who helped them to bring down bigger prey. The 2 girls, who turned 2 in March, were thriving. They even had the guts to chase 4 Mangani lionesses who were so perplexed that they ran. But then they realized that it was only 2 sub-adults who chased them, and the tables turned. Now it was the Othawa girls that got chased, but luckily this turned out just to be a learning curve for them. They briefly got separated, but found each other soon. They may not be completely out of the woods yet, but some risky factors had decreased significantly. The big males are mainly interested in stealing their food, but in another year they are gonna be their potential mating partners. The biggest threat for them are most likely neighboring prides who want to protect their cubs. So far, their strategy had worked just fine, and with a little luck, it stays that way.